Hey guys, Nate here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're not going to take too long tonight, but what I want to do is just kind of get going with the webinars again. I want to start training again, and really just focusing on moving forward with trading futures, trading in general, and just really get the academy going. What I want to start with tonight, and this is more of a webinar for mindset, kind of reinvigorating, refocusing. I know I've done these quite a bit, but I want to just kind of cut through the chase and start talking to you guys as real traders, okay? Like I would talk to my sailors when I was on the ship, like I would talk to, you know, people that I was coaching, okay? So, you see in front of you, one of the things that a lot of us have spent a lot of what we call tuition fee or money that we've blown um, in trading. Okay. The key here is we go out and we find us a strategy. Oops. Why did it do that? Okay. We go out and we find us a strategy and we'll trade that strategy for a little bit. We'll make some money, make some profit. We'll start suffering a few losses after we've made some profit. Market changes over time. It's just like currents in an ocean. They're going to change over time. Okay. So it starts changing, and you don't adapt as a trader to the markets, even though the strategy might just need a little tweaking and it's going to work. Okay. So we start suffering losses, and then we start looking around what's going on? What's going on out there on YouTube? What's going on out there? What else is Nate building? And this and that, okay? And what tends to happen is we tend to repeat this cycle, okay? And I'll guarantee you, most of you guys have gone through this. 95% of us have gone through it. Now, what we want to do is we want to become like an institutional trader where we're making money, where we're making good money, where we're making money that we can quit our day job, or we can stay at home and trade for an hour and a half from open till an hour and a half after the bell, 9:30 to 11 East Coast, 6:30 to 6:30 to let's see here. Let me make sure I'm recording this. 6:30 to yep, we're recording. Let me get back into this. 6:30 to, I'm sorry, yeah, 6:30 to roughly 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock out here on the West Coast. So that's what we want to become, but we keep staying in this rut called being a retail trader. Okay, so we want to move into becoming an institutional trader. So again, you've seen me put up the little pie chart. Sometimes I'm not going to show it tonight, but there's three things that are required for us to become successful. Now, what I want to share with you is most of us have a great strategy. We might be stuck with the strategy. We like it. We're going to stick with it, but we're still not profitable. Folks, it's not about the strategy, it's about a system. And when I talk about a system, whether you want to call it a business system, a trading system, whatever you want to coin it, it's a system. And it starts with the strategy, okay? Now remember, only about 20 to 30% of being a successful trader is in the strategy. All right? That's number one. You got to have a strategy that's going to put money in your pocket. Number two, account management. Now, you've probably seen the video series that I put out there about building wealth and other things. Account management, trade management is key because that's what's going to make or break you. And I'm going to coin that as 30% of being a successful trader. Knowing where to set your stop loss, knowing the conditions in the market, knowing where to take profit. Okay. We've talked about risk to reward. You got to have a greater reward than the risk you're putting in there. You got to be able to set only the amount of risk that it's going to take for you to come back to the trading table. The goal is to come back and trade tomorrow, not to blow the account, because then you got to refund it or you got to go out and buy another account from a prop firm. Okay? So these all go into this thought process of being successful. And lastly is mindset, which is about 50% of being a successful trader. Now, how do we develop mindset? We have to implement the rules that we develop in managing risk in trading. Okay. So this past week, I posted my trade plan, and in it, I have a lot of rules for when I'm trading the Sigma Sniper Pro. Okay. Now, I'm not 100% with that system yet because I just basically developed it, but these rules allow me to look at them and say, okay, I'm not doing, or I haven't hit this point, this point, this point, and this point, therefore I can't get in this trade. Okay? They psychologically take the emotion away from it, and now it's just following the rules. Am I near support or am I near resistance? If the answer is no, okay, check in the block. Okay, and if you check all of the blocks in your rule set, then it's simple. Take the trade. If not, don't take the trade. Don't worry about whether you win or lose the trade. Do 100 trades. Find out what your profitability is. Are you profitable? Number one. Number two, what's your percentage of winning? Okay, now if somebody says 80% or better, I'd probably argue with them. Okay, but when you're trading a risk to reward of 1 to 2 or greater, then it's real simple. You just simply keep trading, and if you're doing 2 to 1 or 1 to 2, then you need about a 50% win rate or better. Okay, but that's better than struggling trying to get 80% before you start trading your own money. Okay. So I hope this is resonating, but I bet you if I was to sit down with each and every one out there, I'm betting there's some here tonight that maybe don't have a trade plan. They're just trading because they have a strategy. They don't have a trade plan and they don't have the psychology of a trader. So they're still trading maybe in paper trading. I use paper trading, don't get me wrong, for testing, but I'm in the live markets, okay? So what I'm wanting you to do is try to come out of your shell, try to become a good trader, develop mindset, and move forward because we have to start making money here. Now, some of us have really started making money and started posting it. All right, great. And I hope you're one of those people because I'm really wanting to work with those who are really taking this serious and want to change their life. Okay. So, again, find a strategy, make some profit, start suffering losses, start shopping for a new strategy. Repeating this cycle is the cycle of doom in trading because eventually it comes to burnout, loss of a lot of funds, blown accounts, and most likely those people walk away from trading. Okay. You don't want to become one of those statistics. So watch with me. Let's go ahead. That's my motivational speech for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and jump over here into the charts. Okay. Now, tonight, what I want to do is share with you the Sigma Sniper Pro. Okay, and I'm going to make this really relatively short because well, when I say short, I'm not going to open it up for too many questions at the end because I'm doing a training video here that I can post in the group. But I really want to share with you how powerful this one is. Next week, I'm going to highlight another trading system that I've built. Okay, remember I said system. These are systems. Even though there's a strategy, there are systems. And I'm going to start giving you those rule sets of what I have in my trade plan for each one. The reason is now you can take the one that you like, that you feel the most comfortable with, or is the most profitable for you, and you can build your own strategy or your own system, but you have a template to start with. We're all different traders here, folks. Some of us will hesitate to take a trade, some of us will jump in faster than others. We all have different mindsets in this. But what I'm trying to do is get you to let go of the emotion, learn trade management, and to have a winning strategy. All of these strategies here at NMKL Trader can make you money. All right, you just have to know how to use them. Okay, let's go ahead and dig into the Sigma Sniper Pro NTA. Now, when you load this thing, it has, it's going to come up with these zones. All right, and what I would recommend you do is set those zones to the size that are comfortable for you. When I say set those zones, go into the settings, and I usually start out at 0.05 or even lower sometimes. I'm just looking for an area on the chart where price might slow down or it might turn around. The reason for that is if I'm scalping, then I know where I might start looking to get out. Okay. All right. That is key, very key. All right, so what I'm going to do now is let me go back to scalping. Today was a scalper's market because the market didn't do a lot. All right, the first thing I do is I want to know what session I'm trading. All right, so I trade the US session. And what I'm going to do is go into the session here and I'm going to mark the 6:30 time zone. That's what time it opens out here, California, 9:30, New York. Now, I'm going to come into the market 30 minutes prior to the actual market itself opening. Okay? And when I'm in the market, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two things before I even start looking or go into the open. If you don't do these, you might as well not even trade. I'm going to mark the overnight high or prior sessions high, previous sessions low. All right. It's crucial because you're going to see what happens here in a minute. You can already see it if you know what I'm talking about. All right. So there's the high for overnight, and here's the low. All right. The other thing I do, the second thing, is I mark yesterday's low and yesterday's high. Okay, so yesterday's high would be right here. Let me go ahead and mark that. Let me grab the tool up here. There we go. Okay. And the reason for this is so that when the market opens, I know what major support and resistance areas I need to look for. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of talk about today's market and do an analysis. But the first thing you see is we're already in a downward trend. Okay, market opens. I don't jump in. A lot of people will jump in and take the trade. They'll see it selling off. Wait until you get a reset. And when I'm talking about a reset, a new signal is what I'm getting at. Okay. Now this is the Sigma Sniper Pro, and I'll just go through the settings here real quick, just so you get a quick introduction to them. Okay, if you're trading scalping, you want to use the daily zones. If you're trading swing trading, the weekly. If you're trading longer, different longer terms, then you might look at the monthly, the quarterly, the yearly. All right, but you don't want to have two selected at the same time. If you want less zones, you can always go ahead and do some deselection here, and those zones should yeah, I didn't see if they went away or not. I guess not. Um, Interesting. Can you guys hear me? Can somebody come on their mic and let me know if they hear me? Let's
I hear
see.
you fine.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, because things are not. uh, working here for some reason, at least with the indicator. Okay, so let me go ahead and go back to settings. But you can lessen your zones based on the amount of zones that are out there by selecting one of these two here. Okay, and then your display settings. Like I said, I start out with about 0.05 for my zone height. Then you can adjust the opacity how you like it. Now in here, I've got four different settings, one for scalp, intraday swing, and position trading. And those are internal settings that I have to the actual trading indicator itself. True price, those are basically the dots on the Heikinashis. Okay, now you can trade this without Heikinashis too, but if you do, you want to disable it down here so you don't get that ugly sign in the middle of your screen. And then if you want to see where the true price line is at the moment, you can do that. And you can also extend it um, by, I don't know why, there we go. You can see the true price line extended all the way across there. Okay, so those are basically the settings that I use when I come in here to trade futures in a daily market. Not too much going on there, okay? Now I'm using Heikinashis right now. You can use this with or without, depending on what you like. These are what David calls beer candles. And so, Heikinashis, if you don't understand them and you just want to trade regular candles, there's really not much of a difference. Let's see here. Well, there is a difference, but these are true Japanese candles. And you might, if you're irritated by the dots, you can turn those off. Okay. Um, Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. Let me go back to the Heikinashis. I'm trying to make this as explainable as possible. Um, Look at how much price respects these zones. Now, let me take you into this morning's trade. Okay, so market comes down, and the first thing market does is hit the overnight low. Okay. And then immediately coming off of that, you get a Heikin with a buy signal. And this is a good trade here. Okay. Now, again, you're not going to win everything, but you could set your take profit up here in the zone. The reason I do those take profits in around the zone area, that's still a pretty good run. That's still about 100, $150, depending on whether you're trading the NQ or the MNQ. Um, MNQ or NQ, probably about $200 there. Okay, because you're looking at it 60 points, 240 ticks. That's pretty good. All right. And then what does price do? It comes up. It doesn't go up to the overnight high, but it goes up to this zone, slows down, and then turns. And then you get another trade opportunity. It gets down to this zone. Now, because there's not much room between this zone and this level here, this overnight session low, I'm not going to take this trade because there's just not enough room for me to gain any momentum. All right. And then, of course, what happens is price does, you could get in here, price bounces a little bit, it's in a zone, or you could wait until price closes below this zone and then take the trade down from here. Okay. And then just you can see how much price respects these zones. I don't take the trade if I don't have enough clearance. I wait until I get in above. I'll set a buy stop on this side or a sell stop on this side if I'm too close to one of those zones. And it's totally on how you do your own trade management. I can't tell you what's the best answer out there because people have different ways of doing things. Um, and then so there was a few. Now today was kind of it wasn't a lot of long runs. There was some ranging, so it might have been difficult to trade this. I came out about $800 up, so I had a successful day. And I just really wanted to take the opportunity and share with you guys how powerful this system is and how much it respects these deviation levels. Now, this may not be the system that you trade or the system for you, and that's fine. It might be a different one. It might be the market trend system. It might be market signal, the NMKL trader market signals, um, supply and demand. Really doesn't matter. I'm going to take each one of those and have a training series on it similar to this one. But the goal is for you guys to really start trading these systems, and let's move away from worrying about the strategy and let's develop a system for ourselves. Okay, we're going to implement rules. Now, the problem with rules is nobody likes to follow rules. That's just I mean, that's just that's human nature. Everybody wants to, oh, fear of missing out. It's running. I'm going to jump in. And by the time you jump in, it starts to slow down. That's why I got these zones on here. Secondly, you might, you might put yourself in the market. You might just jump into a trade. Those usually wind up in disaster after you do it 2 or 3 times. Okay, you might get lucky once or twice, but it's like going to a casino gambling table, blackjack table. You'll win a little while and then you'll start losing all your money. Or anyway, I don't need. I think enough with the analogies, but you understand what I'm saying. So what I wanted you to start to focus on is really working on trade management, which we're going to work through the rule sets on each one of these. And then those rules may become boring, but trading is not exciting really when you become good. It becomes boring because it's simply 3 words: wash, rinse, and repeat, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And all you're going to do is simply, when you become so good at it, you're just going to turn up the volume, and then you will be making $1,000 a day. These guys out there on YouTube, I'm sure there's some that are millionaires, but here's the thing: I don't care how big their bank account is. How come they don't show us the real size of their bank account? How come they don't show us the trades? How come they're not transparent? Now, a lot of them will say, yeah, I got this Discord channel. I call out my trades over there. Sure, but it's so easy to call out a trade after one's happened too. Okay. So that's why you'll see me posting my actual daily. I won't get it. I don't need to show how big my account is or how small it is, but I'll be showing my daily profits. Okay. And you're gonna see some negatives once in a while. Today I was up $700 and I took a $200 loss. I had to climb back up, but I finished out at $822. Not bad. Okay. But we want to be able to trade and have those $1,000 days. I'm going to open it up for about 5 or 10 minutes for some questions on this, or just in general about trading. So if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead. And when I start to see this thing tick down, then I'll go ahead and let you guys know. But I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions, and I'll do a QA session here for a little bit. So just go ahead if you have a question, unmute yourself and state your name and who you, or, and your question, and let's see what happens here. And if it stays quiet,
Hey,
oh, go ahead.
hey, Nate. Hey, this is Kelly, man. I just wanted to know, just so I make sure I understand. So, are all of these systems going to be available, and then can we pick from, excuse me, what's more favorable to us, or
Yeah, they're all available to you. In fact, you actually, is this Quick Hitter?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I believe you got access to all of them.
yeah. I saw that. I didn't know if you. I came in a few minutes late. I didn't know if you had added some more to
No,
it, but it's actually good for me, man, and I'll tell you why. Just because of the line of work that I'm in, and I'm able to come in and
yeah,
you know go in and go out. This is it's really powerful, and it's really starting to show, especially if you can just dedicate some time. And for me, I've been able to carve out a little bit of time. I don't really get a chance to really go that much in Discord, but I can really carve out some time and
right.
really just hammer this thing down. So now I'm just trying to get more time to get it. So I think it's going to be really cool to play in between the systems and in between the time zones, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes great sense. And I don't mind if you're not here in Discord. Just pop in once in a while and say, "Hey, what's up, guys?" So I know you're still alive. But um, everybody's got jobs, everybody's got business, everybody's got things to do. I get that. That's why, I've said in the past about tire kickers and things like that. But what I want is just really serious people, and I know people have their schedules. So, Kelly, I really appreciate the comments, and don't worry, you're always going to be a member.
Thank you,
No
man.
worry there, man. Appreciate it. Um, any questions, any comments?
No, I just want to say that I saw the real turning point here, Nate, when we came out with the market trend system. I think that was what we're seeing now from the development of your website, of the webinars. They've been very, very powerful and eye-opening. Again, your comments, you just have to learn how to trade them, I think is important. So I just wanted to add that in.
Absolutely. And I just want to make a comment up to that too. Um, I've been in different Discord groups. I've been in different groups out there just checking out what they do, how they operate, and things like that. I'm gonna tell you, um, if you're struggling here, you're gonna be struggling over there too. Where there's 10 people that are successful, know that in those big groups, there's 100 or 1,000 people that are not successful yet. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, even in those groups, you still have the 5% that become institutional traders, and you still have the 95% who are still struggling. That's because they can't get rid of that emotion. They can't get rid of, fear of missing out. They can't get rid of following rules and let the rules take care of, of it. And then just wash, rinse, and repeat. And over time, you will learn to recognize um, you'll learn to recognize exactly where that trade's coming from. Another case in point, you go deer hunting. When your first time out, you're going to be sitting there scanning the woods. Where's that deer? Where's that deer? And because they blend in so well, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see the deer before an experienced hunter, and that's because their eyes are trained. All right, that's an example. Now, let me go ahead and open it up for anybody else that has any questions or comments.
Hi.
Hi,
Okay, this is Batia Carbonera. My question is, you said today you made $800 around.
correct.
Was with this Sigma Sniper, right?
Yes,
Okay. Last night I saw you also trading around Asia Open.
yes.
Was it with the same system because Asia doesn't have as big volume as the New York?
Okay, so that's a good question. What I was trading last night was not the Sigma Sniper Pro. I was basically testing something, okay? And I wasn't getting very good quality with my internet connection, so I wasn't able to get in there and really discuss what I was trying to do. Now, your question about the Asian session. All right, so here's the Asian session right here, right now. Let me just show you basically where the Asian session starts. I'll try to make this short, but I'll try to answer your question. So the Asian session starts here around 1700 West Coast, around what is that, Central? That's going to be about 1900 Central or 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. And you can see that there is some movement. Now, um, it's of course it's not got the volume that the US session has. So you can get in here and trade. I would probably go to a lower time frame, um, and probably, to where you can get into some trades like this where you can pick up. Okay, so this is this trade here, let me just kind of show you that you could get into this. Now, you're not going to make a whole lot of movement. That's about 8 points, about 35 pips. If you trade more volume, most likely you'll make something. But also keep in mind, you see a lot of sideways here. This is ranging. There's not a lot of momentum tonight. It's pretty much in a box. And I probably would stay away from the NQ, but there are markets like gold, for instance, that do move. Okay. So this one here, there's room between this trade here and up here in this box. Okay. So this would have been worth trading. Um, let's see, 17. So, I would be careful. Of course, you do see this thing come and bounce two or three times off of this zone here. So you got to be careful with that because you can get caught up in a ranging market. Let me see what oil's doing. Now, oil sold off earlier. Oil tends to open, well, that's around 1700. I'm just calling, when I say 1700, I'm calling out, the time frames here. You have a sell off. Okay. So you could have traded from here. I usually set a stop loss just right here at the swing high, and then I follow it down. And if I start to see it slow, then I'll go ahead and get out. But if I see it just go right through the zone, then I'll stay in it. Okay. And you can see now oil doesn't always respect the zones as much as the other markets do. But it does here you see it kind of slow a little bit in the zone area. Okay, so you could have traded this down and traded this, got back in on this buy here and traded this up. So there are opportunities in the Asian session. You just have to look a little bit deeper for them. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
No worries. I probably have time for one more. Anybody else have any questions real quick? All right. I guess that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this session. I really appreciate you guys coming out. We're going to get these going again, weekly webinar series. I enjoyed doing them. I want to see you guys get great at trading. Let's focus on this and just really become a trading community where we got people that we're developing. And this academy is going to grow. All right. Thanks. This is Nate. I'll see you in the trade room and trading this week. Have a great night. Take care.
See you. Thanks.